Hello, morning fam. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix 101.5. I have some great news to tell you guys that I've not told you yet.
Color me excited.
Is it about Sarah?
Yes, it's about
Okay.
Sarah.
Okay, good, because I wanted to say something right now. Can you just hold that good news? I have great news. Just kidding.
Before we get to my wife, Brian has other
Hey,
news.
before we get to that,
I found the
did
most
you know-
comfortable socks.
So,
I just switched car insurances.
I mentioned earlier this week or late last week, I'm forgetting now, my days are running together, that she gets to come home for Valentine's Day.
Next week.
That's the great news. But guys, I have like the appetizer to that day. I just got confirmed yesterday.
Yeah?
Sarah gets a day pass to come home before that to like test herself out around the
that's
house.
exciting.
Hell yeah.
And she's coming home for a day on Super Bowl Sunday. Let's go!
That's
I'm coming
really
home.
exciting.
It makes me
coming
so
home.
excited that when we found this news out, it really kind of within the last couple days officially, brought tears to my eyes.
good.
Knowing everything she's experienced the last month and just being at the hospital and just desperately wanting to come home to be in her own space,
Of
her own
course.
shower, her own couch, seeing her daughter and her soulmate Boomer. I'm somewhere in the top 5, I think. It's fine. But getting that news that she gets to come home to her own space on Super Bowl
Good
Sunday.
for her. That's exciting.
And something else that hit me last night when we talked about it, every single year forever, you guys know we do those videos with our dogs.
Yes.
Of the Super Bowl selections. We're honestly talking about where we're going to do that this year, previous to, finding this out. And I'm like, this is like one of those other little things to be like, oh my God, that's awesome that she gets to come home from the hospital for a day to do that and hang out and be a part of a little bit of the Super Bowl festivities.
yeah.
Dude, you just want any sort of normalcy.
Normalcy,
that you can get.
yes.
Of course.
Even if it's Boomer going and choosing who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yes, thank you,
You
man.
know, you get that, though. That's amazing. What an awesome step.
I
that is
hope
so
that
exciting.
you need to get it catered. Maybe we can
All
work
of it.
on that.
Why would
just
he get
make-
it catered? She's coming home. Put her to work.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brian.
Let
Hey,
me-
so I was researching recipes, and now that
Yeah.
you're here,
Oh, you're
Let
the
me
worst.
not get right on that, Brian.
Yeah. No, like you can get Buffalo Wild Wings or something to bring it over some
Usually
wings.
I do like sliders and like that type of thing, but honestly, if she's coming home, I think she gets to leave at like 8 o'clock. So we're going to do, I'm thinking first watch, all of our favorite things, right? We got to do first watch. We got to do burger. We got to just do every single thing
that makes me
is
so happy.
not hospital food for my wife.
100%.
And she's like, and also on top of it, she's like, I am so happy that I get to sit on my own couch for a minute
course.
Yeah, baby.
and take my own damn shower without
Yeah,
somebody
baby.
watching me for a second. And I'm like, yes, all of those things.
Oh, you don't want anyone watching? I guess
Yeah.
I won't hang out.
Yes.
Fine.
Actually, can I
Whatever.
be the one that uses sprayer today, sweetheart? Come on now, let's go.
I've missed you. Welcome back to Wendell Falls.
Yes, this
That's
one-person
great.
shower is meant for 2 today, am I right?
She's like, leave me alone.
Leave me alone. I just want my own
Just
space.
want to be by myself.
Somebody, just leave me alone for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So are you going to spend are you going to spend Super Bowl Sunday just all together in the house?
Yes.
That's it. No
We're not-
plans.
we're not
Nobody
leaving.
coming over.
Yes.
Just spending the time.
Yeah,
Of
just
course.
Super Bowl Sunday gets to come home for, I'm not sure how many hours this is, but we're going to make the most of it. I believe the time that they're giving us overlaps into a little bit of the Super Bowl, so that'll be great. We can see the Super Bowl kickoff, the national anthem, maybe the first quarter. I'm not sure what that's going to look like. I don't know what our rules exactly are yet, but the fact that she gets to come home for a day and she hasn't been home in over a month, which is crazy. By the time my wife gets home, it'll be like nearly 40 days.
That's insane.
Since the beginning of all this, and it's just like she's now hit the point of being. And listen, everybody's been fabulous for the situation.
Of
All the
course,
nurses,
but
the
it
team,
still sucks.
everybody there has been unbelievable. But she's hit the point of like, okay, I'm just like so ready to come home and just like be at home. And I'm like, you got this. You only have about 9 more days, 8 more days, whatever it is. We're hitting the home stretch. We got the little bumper on Sunday to help us be like, okay, we got that to look forward to.
Right.
And then it's only like another 4 days after that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just positive momentum. It's good for the psyche. She's just needed
Yes.
anything that's like a breath
Yes.
from what she's been drowning in, man. And like, you know what you have to do.
Yeah.
You know how you really bring the positive morale.
Yeah.
Kyle, you got to organize a golf cart parade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to organize
Maybe.
a Wendell Falls, one of their famous
You
golf
just got
cart
to tell
parades.
one person in your army of friends there, and it'll happen.
Kyle, bring her home, get her out of the van, and then boom, here's
on
the
that
parade.
on that
Yes!
Friday for Valentine's
Oh my
Day.
God,
Yes.
that's the best.
And all the golf carts are decorated
Yes.
Valentine's, and every single cart has like the welcome back Sarah thing.
Yes.
That's a genius idea. That is the greatest idea Brian's ever
Good
given
idea,
me.
Brian.
I'm so
in
glad
friendship.
that you came up with that yourself.
yeah,
for your
you
wife.
can have it. You can have it.
I'm so glad you came up with that thought.
So, thank you. This is the only time it'll ever be mentioned.
Gotcha.
From here on out, that was my idea.
That's
Out of
absolutely
way.
correct.
That is so romantic, Kyle.
God,
God,
I
that's
am
a freaking idea.
so thoughtful.
With John Legend performing in my little Amazon box size front yard. This is all great ideas, Brian. Kyle, thank you for that.
Kyle.
But yes, I wanted to share
That's
that great
awesome.
news because
That's awesome.
she's almost home. But this is the appetizer. This is the test run, if you will, of seeing what that looks like. And thank you to everybody for your support. And I can't wait to have my wife back home.
Oh, I know you can't.
On Super Bowl Sunday, even if it is just for a day. All right, with that, what is your good news to start this Thursday? Whatever it is for you, we'd love to share it. Good vibes only as we start today. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix. It'll be the best Super Bowl Sunday ever, then followed by the best Valentine's Day ever when she is officially released.
Yes.
You got that right.
Thank you to the dream team at Wake Med taking care of her, Allison and Sarah. One of our favorite nurses, Shayna. Everybody has assembled over there making sure she is getting the best care. So thank you. She's coming home for at least a little bit on Sunday. I can't wait.
Excellent.
It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix.
I just wanted to let Kyle know his story just takes me back 15 or 16 years ago. My husband was in a really, really bad car accident. He was thrown out of a vehicle that was rolling, and not rolling side over side, end over end. He had broken ribs. His rotator cuff was turned inside out. He had spinal damage, a brain injury. I mean, it was really bad. They didn't know if he was going to make it when we first got to Wake Med. And the bad thing was is he and I were in the process of separating. I mean, we had just celebrated didn't celebrate, but we had just been married 5 years and
Right.
just going through a really tough time.
Yeah.
And this happened, and I know when I got the phone call that morning or that afternoon, because he was on his way home from work when it happened, somebody had pulled out in front of him, and when he swerved, he ended up running off the road and, went end over end. But anyway, he was thrown out of the vehicle. He was in the hospital. He was at Wake Med for well over a month. And there were times that we didn't know what was going to happen. I remember I cried in the shower, so he never saw me crying, But it was scary because we had a 4-year-old daughter at the time, and just really tough times. But I remember Thanksgiving, he got to come home for the day. When you were talking about your wife coming home, I mean, that was like, I didn't tell nobody he was coming home. I had him all to ourselves, and just that little bit of normalcy, just normal. But when he finally did get to come home, because he's a welder and he works on 18-wheeler trucks, well, he was pretty broken up because he had to have spinal surgery, rotator cuff surgery, and then the brain injury. Like I said, that took a while to heal. I remember one of the scariest things was when they asked him which was bigger, a grasshopper or an elephant, and he said, I don't know. And that scared me, but he's fine now, 15, 16 years later. He's back working on 18-wheeler trailers, doing all his stuff. He hurts from time to time, but life does get back to normal. Just hang in there. I am praying for you. I feel your story. It hits home. It hits very close to home. But just wanted to give you some positive feedback that it's going to get better. It will. It's going to take time, but you'll be closer and stronger than ever. He and I just celebrated 21 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Happy anniversary, Amy.
So,
I want to say...
we're great.
It's amazing. And I just have to say, what a wonderful thing that you felt so comfortable sharing your story with everybody.
Yeah. Y'all like family.
Well, it's
thank you.
You're sharing that with everybody that's listening to us right now, and I think that says a lot about you. And we are so appreciative of you sharing that. It's crazy. All of us have had those life moments where things get completely upended. You never know when it's going to happen, and I'm so grateful that you called to share your own story, but also offer me encouragement, because you're right. There's been a lot of layers to this. It's very emotionally complicated and tough to deal with. And like you, where you, I don't want to say this. You're right. Like what you said about not crying in front of your husband. That's how I felt in front of my wife, because I don't want her to see that when she's going through her own stuff. And there's been times where I'm walking down the Wake Med hallway and I've just cried, or wherever it is where I'm just like really upset, and I don't feel like I'm going to be crying the entire day, but there will be just like those certain moments in the day where it just is like all the things that you've been trying to process just hit you. Whether it's the cafeteria at Wake Med next to the salad bar or wherever it is, you're like, man, I got to let this out. But thank you, Amy, seriously, for calling. That means the world to me. Thank you so much.
See, I was the one. I know I called in and talked to y'all several months ago. My husband was the one who wanted the song "Highway to Hell" played when we got married. I'm that person.
Yeah, you call back whenever you'd like, Amy.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, it's not lost on anybody who just heard that story that you never know what's going to come from something like this too, like yes, it's horrible what happened, but your marriage was saved by it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes things happen and we don't know why.
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, we still fight, we still have our moments, but for the most part, I can't imagine life without him.
Aww.
And my first thought that day when I got the phone call was, I knew we had been fighting and I knew we'd been going through a really tough spot, and it was, did I tell him I loved him before I left? I mean, we never end a conversation. I mean, he's always, love you, bye. I mean, that's it, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
But, my kids joke about it, that's our love languages. Love you, bye.
Well, Amy, we love you.
Even if you're
got
just
it out.
saying it, you've been married that long, you're just saying it is a victory. So best to you, Amy Johnson and Johnston, and best to your husband,
Yes.
John Johnson.
Thank
Johnson.
you.
I don't know
Thank
his
you,
name.
Amy, for
Eric
calling.
Johnson.
You have a great day. Thanks for listening. It means a lot to
You
us.
too. Thank y'all.
Bye, Amy.
And just hang in there.
Thank you. We're trying. Bye, Amy.
All right.
Bye, Amy. Have a
Bye.
great day.
That was so nice.
So very nice.
That was
Yeah.
a great call.
I know. I'm so proud of my wife. I think that's the thing that's just most astonishing. Like I said, she's hit the part in all this where she's like, I'm just ready to go home.
I mean, who can blame
But
her?
she's still showing up for her therapy. She's doing everything she can to be the best that she can be. Good morning. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix 101.5. Thank you for your patience. We were talking to Amy, sharing her own story, and I'm so sorry I was not able to get your name off air a second ago. What's your name? I apologize.
This is Marianne from Raleigh.
Hey, how you doing, Marianne?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Getting along all right for the circumstances. Excited to have my wife home on Sunday, then officially home going into Valentine's weekend.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, so we
Uh-oh.
you guys every morning.
Oh, no,
Oh,
she's...
no, you're breaking up.
Marianne, you're breaking up really bad. Let's try to take this call off air. I want to obviously... take her call here in a second, but you're breaking up really bad. If you can hear us, Marianne, I apologize. But also, as we figure out what's going on with Marianne here in just a second, I also realized something else too a couple days ago is not only is it Valentine's Day and the day my wife gets to return home, it is also the return of what show that also, of course, happens to drop the day my wife gets back home.
I'm
on
guessing it's
Netflix.
something that
No.
she loves. Is
Oh,
it
no,
Love
it's-
Island?
No, it's
No, you
not
got it
Love
wrong.
Island. It's Selling Sunset.
What is it?
You guys know me better than that. It's Love is Blind is
That's
back.
the
I knew it was a love thing.
Love is Blind. So it's going to be the greatest day ever. Valentine's cookies with her daughter, her soulmate Boomer.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be there too.
And what are you
then,
going to do? Argue with her?
Yeah. Then we
No,
got
we're not. Okay, shut up,
Yeah,
Kyle. Shut
Whatever you want, baby.
we got to watch more highlights from the Super Bowl all over again, honey. No. We're watching Love is Blind. It'll be a good day. It's Kyle, Brian, and Sarah on Mix.